Hey you guys, this is Chris here. Today I'm going to show you how to move the data files, redo log files, and your control files. Now, when you install a database for the first time, these three physical files will normally be installed at a default location in your Oracle base. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to move those to different mount points. Okay? So let me just show you where by default, but the default location where these files will exist. So we'll go to the Oracle base. Okay, so here we have our control files, our redo logs, and our data files. And so this screen to the right, these are just notes that I have to help me with this video, so I don't get lost. But basically, what I want to do is I created different mount points, and let me show you that as well. Alright, so I've created the FRA 1, 2, and 3, the fast recovery area, and data folder. And I gave myself access to those four different mount points. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to go ahead and log into SQL Plus. Okay, so I'm already connected to the Oracle database. What I want to do first is move the system, the sysaux, and the undo table space. The reason for that is because these basically the database should be shut down and brought back up to into a mount state, and because this will allow the control file to be updated while the data files are not in use. So on the right you see I already have the locations, but just to ensure that they're still in the control file hasn't been updated, let me go ahead and write a query so you can see that these files are still there. Alright, so you can see that these data files and their table spaces still exist in their default locations. So as I mentioned, we're going to start with the system, the sysaux, and the undo table space. So what I'm going to need to do is shut down the database. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so it's been shut down. Let's go ahead and start up in mount mode. Okay, the instance in the SGA has been set up. So what I want to do before I begin is these three files. I'm gonna want to move these at the OS level, and then I'm gonna rename the files at the database level. So let's go ahead and move these files. And I'm just gonna, since I've already copied the locations, the directory path, I'm just gonna copy and paste here to save some time and to be precise. And as I mentioned, I'm going to move these to my data folder. Okay. We're going to do the same with the sysaux. Okay. And finally, we'll do the undo table space and or the undo data file. Okay, that one finished faster. Alright, so as I mentioned, we've moved these in the operating system level. Now let's move these let's rename these files. We'll start with system. Okay, next. Next we'll do the sysaux. Okay, last but not least, undo table space. Okay, alter database open. Alright, now let's query the DBA data files. Okay, let's see. System, sysaux, and undo have all been renamed. Okay. Alright, and I did wait for examples and users because these are just regular data files, and these can actually be moved while the database is open. Let me show you how to do that here. So same concept, but we'll do, you'll notice that this is different. Alter database, move data file instead of rename data file. So let's do example, the example data file. Okay. Alright, database altered. Let's go ahead and query this again. Oops. Okay. Users, undo, example, sysaux, and system. Perfect. Let me just show you here. Okay, nice. Okay, moving on to the redo logs. The redo logs are moved at the same way as the system table space is moved. So we'll need to shut down the database. I want to do the control files last because these will be started. This will need to we'll need to start the database in a different mode. Okay. But first, before we start the database, we're gonna want to move these redo log files at the operating system level, and then we'll get back into SQL Plus. So let's go ahead and take care of this. Okay, and I just came back in here just to get the proper ending for these. So that's redo one dot log. Let me just add these to these as well to avoid confusion. Control, it's control 01. Oops. Okay. All right, let's go. Okay, so let's move these files. So first we'll do redo log 1. And let's go ahead, since it has the same beginning path, we'll do this here. Okay, let's do the same with the second redo log file. Except this is going to a different mount point, so we're doing that at FR82. Okay, let's go ahead and do the same with the third one. Alright, let's go back into SQL Plus. Alright, let's go ahead and start up in mount mode. As I mentioned, this is the same as we're doing, the same as if we were moving the system, sysaux, and the undo table space. Okay, database has been mounted. So we're going to rename the file, as I mentioned. Okay, so let's do, we actually have the locations up here, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste. Okay. The same with the second redo log file. Okay, and last but not least, the third redo log file. Oops. Rename file from this directory to this directory. Okay, perfect. Now let's go ahead and open up that database. Okay, and so to verify that these files have indeed been moved, let's go ahead and let's query this v dollar sign, v dollar view, sorry. Okay, see? our files have been updated, and they've been moved to their new locations. Okay. Alright, so now that we've moved our data files, our redo log files, we're going to move on to our control files. Okay? So since these control files are very critical in order for the database to function, these control files can only be moved when the database is in no mount mode or shutdown. Okay? So first we need to determine the location of the control files, and for that I'm just going to do show parameter control, oops. Okay. So you can see we have our two control files and they're still located in their default location. So the same with this, we need to shut down our database. So let's go ahead and do shutdown immediate. And I'm just going to copy these here. And same with this one. Okay. Has it been shut down? Yes. Okay. For this, we're going to want to move these also at the OS level. So let's go ahead and do that here. Oops, sorry. Let's start up in no mount. Okay, so we have this up in no mount mode, but first I'm just gonna let's exit just to make sure that it's up. Let's go ahead and move these data files, or sorry, the control files now. So we're gonna move these at the operating system level. Move from this location to our new location, FRA1 control 01.ctl. Okay, the same with the second file. Let's just copy and paste this here. Okay, perfect. Alright, so now that they've been updated at the operating system level, let's go back into SQL Plus. Oops. Okay, now we're in no mount mode. So we're gonna want to alter the system. So let's do this and update the control file parameter. That way the database knows that the control file has been moved, and so the data file knows exactly, or the control file will point to the new location. Okay, and I was gonna copy and paste, but I think I'll just type it FRA1 control 01.ctl, and I believe I can update both at the same time. So let's try this here. FRA2 control 02.ctl. Okay, and the scope needs to be SP file. Alright, perfect. Let's shut it down again, because since we're updating the SP file, we need to shut down the database in order for these changes to go into effect. Okay. Now let's do a startup no mount again. And this time I just want to query the control files parameter. So let's do show parameter control files. Alright, perfect. So our control file parameters has been updated with the new location. Okay. So we're going to move this up to mount mode. And our moment of truth to make sure that our database does open and is functional, we'll do alter database open. Perfect. Okay, let me just do just do this again. Okay, select star from dual. Okay. Alright, let's see. Exit. Let's just check our new directories. Alright, so you see here our data files. Let's move to FRA1. Our control 1, redo 1 are there. Let's move to FRA2. Control file 2, redo log number 2 is there. And last but not least, FRA3, our third redo log file is there. Perfect. So we've moved all our data files, our redo log files, and control files, and our database shuts down and it opens up. So we were successful. Thanks for watching.